Good morning, my loves. Happy Sunday morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning. This beautiful Sunday. The high today is 86. The high this week is in the 90s. I know Arizona's already heating up. For us, this is the norm. March, April is going to be in the 90s. And then it just speeds up and gets hotter as we go. It's Arizona. You live in the desert. What do you expect? So, this is an interesting topic. I want to hear back. I want your thoughts on this. We are talking expectations. I have very high expectations for myself. Always have, always will. I set the bar high. I am very critical of myself, very self critical. Always have been. Okay, so I have high expectations for myself. I have high expectations of others. Now, whether that is in my personal life, whether that is at the office where I work, whether that is with people that I interact with. Example, you go to a doctor's office, okay? You go to see your doctor. You expect the people there to know their job, right? You would hope. You would expect the doctor to know how to practice whatever type of medicine you're there to see. If it's your PCP, your family doctor, well, you would hope that they know how to handle the basic, the blood pressure issues, sore throats, colds, sniffles, allergies, all of that. And if they don't, refer you out to somebody that can help. That's called common sense. But those are my expectations. If I go to a restaurant, I expect the people there to be able to provide the service that I am there for. This is just common sense. If you go to a hospital, you expect the staff at the hospital to be well equipped, right? For the lab people to know how to do their job, the emergency room people to know how to do their job, the doctors, the nurses, the respiratory therapists, everybody to know their job and to do it well. For law enforcement, same thing, that we expect them to know their job, to know the laws, to uphold those laws, to protect our rights under those laws, right? Okay. First responders, same way. We want the firefighters, the paramedics to know how to save our lives if they ever need to save the lives of our loved ones. Those are our expectations. Now, for me, and I had this discussion with one of my bosses the other day because I'm close with my bosses, and I was in his office and we were talking, and I said, he was frustrated with people in general, as was I. And I said, I think I just hold people to too high of a standard. I hold myself to a high standard. I have high expectations for me, and the same applies for others. And I think that's wrong. And he said, no, you should do that. You should hold people to a high standard. What do you think? What are your thoughts? I know the people I work with, I am the only nurse in the firm. And as most of you know, we do personal injury and medical malpractice. So, in my little Brenda mind as the nurse there, I triage the personal injury cases. When somebody gets injured, they'll sign with the firm, and then I get to talk to them about their accident and their injuries and help them decide where they need to go for treatment. Do they need to go to an emergency room if they haven't already? Do they need to go to urgent care? Where can I help you get into a doctor? What can I do to help? Is your shoulder popping and pulling, and, have you dislocated your shoulder? Do you have a rotator cuff tear? I triage a lot of stuff, and that's fine. I love what I do, but I hold the providers I send these people to a very high standard. I have my go-tos. The people I refer clients to, I know darn good and well that these people, when our clients get there, they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be treated with kindness, courtesy, respect. They're going to be listened to. They're going to be heard, understood. Things are going to be explained to them in a manner where that they can understand it. That's what I expect. And that's a lot, but that's what I expect. And I'm lucky that the people that I send clients to, and there are several, a lot, but they uphold that. And I am so thankful that I have those resources. But I expect the people that are in the cars and on the motorcycles to know how to drive them, right? I mean, when I get in my car, if I guess I need to go get gas later today, I would hope other people on the road know how to drive. They know the traffic laws. They're going to observe the traffic laws. They're not going to drive under the influence of anything, right? Is that holding people to too high a standard? I don't think so. That's my opinion. Our medical malpractice clients, God love them, you know, things happen, accidents do happen in hospitals, in cars, it's life, but bad things do happen. And facilities, staff, whether it's a doctor, a nurse, a social worker, a case manager, a lab tech, x-ray tech, whatever it is, they should know their job, they should do their job, and they should know the parameters of that job, right? You know what you can do, you know what you can't do, you know when you need to say, hey, I need help. Stay in your lane and call for help when it's time to get out of there. That's what you do. So that's where I'm coming from, okay? Those are the expectations I have in life. My personal life, I was raised with high expectations. You don't give 100%, you give 150%. All the time. That's how it's done. You're not just a friend, you try to be a best friend. You go out of your way to help people. My dad, God love him, Daddy's been gone 10 years this in April. And Daddy would do anything for anybody. And he expected us to be the same way. And that was his expectations. You work hard. Somebody hires you, you're going to go in there and you're going to give them 110% every single time. That's what you do. That's why they're paying you. They're trusting you with whatever, and you're going to uphold that. Okay. In school, we had to make the grades. We took it seriously. I didn't have, I guess in my last couple of years of high school, I started being more social, because until then it was about the books. It was all about the books. And so with my son, when he was growing up, I didn't want that kind of pressure on him. Now, I have high expectations for myself. My son is very smart. However, I didn't want him being locked in the books. I wanted him to have a life, to have friends. That child had friends. He had more friends in junior high, high school, and college, and I would say I knew 90% of them. I still know a lot of them, and I love them. They are wonderful kids. They will always be kids to me. But he had a life because I let go. I still had the high expectations, but I kept my mouth shut. I let him learn his mistakes. He had to learn his own life lessons. He had to learn, you got to study to make the grade. You got to study if you want to stay on. He was on the golf team. You got to keep your grades up if you want to keep that. And he learned that, and he did it. But I had to let go of the control. Now, with high expectations, it is about control. It is about control. Because things that are out of our control, people that are out of our control, we want them to behave a certain way. We want them to think a certain way, to have, morals and ethics and values akin to ours, aligned with us. Yeah, well, life doesn't work that way. That's what we're talking about. How do you handle this in your life? I have learned to kind of let go. There are people I work with that I promise you do not have the same work ethic as I do. I am at the office at 6:30 in the morning, a little before 6:30, because I have to call experts that are on the East Coast. 6:30 my time is 9:30 on the East Coast. I have clients that are getting ready to work. They can't call me during the day. They call me in the early morning hours. That's fine. That's why I'm there, so that they can make those calls. If they need me to get them in with a provider, if they need me to do something, I can do that, get with them. They can make arrangements, at work. I need to take a long lunch. I need to leave a little early. We get it taken care of. There's method to my madness, and it works. Clients love that I am so flexible and that I will do whatever it takes to get the job done. My bosses kind of like it too. But not everybody I work with is the same way. That can drive me crazy. that there are people that just, and everybody has, the attorneys are very much like me. Our paralegals are so dedicated. They are amazing people. But they're individuals, and they each have their own, some of them are truly, time in, time out, and they take their 15-minute breaks. Funny story, I don't take lunch. I get there about 6:30. I may or may not order something to be delivered for lunch. I may or may not have lunch. That's my choice. That is what I do. So once a week, I try to have lunch. So I went to lunch on Friday, and I have to give a plug. I went to, what is it, Pita Jungle. Wow. If you have a Pita Jungle where you live, go. Mediterranean food out of this world. So I go to lunch, and I'm coming back, and I'm about a block away from the office. I'm in my car, and my phone rings. My personal phone rings. I'm driving. I'm not going to answer my phone. Well, then my work cell, I call it the bat phone. The bat phone starts to ring. So I know it has to do with a client. I'm like a half block away, so I'm not going to answer. So I get there, I park, I go in, and as soon as I walk in, everybody's saying my boss is looking for me. Joe's looking for you. So I go to Joe's office. What's going on? He said, I couldn't find you. We have a client that came in that needs to talk to you, which is fine. And he said, but you weren't at your desk. And I couldn't get you on the phone, and I got worried. I didn't know what happened. I said, I actually took lunch. Oh, well, that's okay. But they're just used to me being there. They know if I'm driving, I'm not going to answer the phone. Any other time, I don't care what time of day or night it is, that black phone rings. My bat phone, it's being answered. If it's a text, I'm answering. If I'm in a meeting, it might have to wait, but I take care of business. But not everybody delivers like that. And that drives me crazy, because there are people in our firm, there are people in life, there are people we all know that are just there to have fun. They're not invested in work. They're just there. Yeah, they're getting paid, whatever. They're just going to have a good time every day. I love my job. I have a blast at work. I can't think of anything on this earth, other than if something happened with my family and I had to move to take care of them. There's no other reason I would leave my job. I love my job that much. The people are great. I still get to triage. I still get to do the nurse stuff. I still do my trauma therapy stuff. I do personal injury and medical malpractice. For me, it is the best of all worlds. I'm happy. Not everybody is like that. Not everybody has that same level of dedication. Is it fair to hold people to the same standard we hold ourselves to? That, my love, is my question to you. I want to hear about it. Whether we are talking police officers, law enforcement, first responders, our firefighters, our paramedics, doctors, nurses, hospital staff, your spouse, your kids, teachers, whatever. What standard do you hold them to? And how do you handle it when they don't meet your expectations? Have you learned to let go? Let them hang themselves? Or do you jump right in there and cause a scene? I want to hear about it.